I made this video to share to you my brother's sewing machine. This is the first ever sewing machine I have. I'm not a professional sewist, but I just use this for my hobbies. When I was starting to sew, wala ako masyadong resources about this particular model ng brother sewing machine. This model is LX27NT. In this video, I'll just cover the main features of this sewing machine and also the accessories that came with it. Hopefully can help those who are interested to buy the same model. So let's get on with it. Here at the top part, you can see there are 3 different dials. So medyo manual pa tong sewing machine na to. Others are digital. You just press some buttons and there's this screen that tells you about that setting. So first one here is the tension dial. The second is the stitch width dial, and the last one is the stitch length dial. Over here at the right side of the sewing machine, there's this circular thing which is called the hand knob. You use it to manually adjust your needle. Dito sa baba, you can see the switch and the power cord. Here you'll see the 27 different built-in stitches that come with this sewing machine model. There are black colored ones and red colored ones. The red colored ones, medyo nahirapan ako gamitin yan kasi hindi ko alam na you need to set the stitch length dial here to SS before you can use those other stitches, those special stitches. To select which stitch you want to use, you will need to twist this stitch dial over here. You can see my black and my red din. So, susundan mo lang yung numbers na yun to select which stitch you prefer. Here, you'll see this lever here. You press it downwards to activate your reverse or your back stitch. Moving up, you will see there are different numbers there, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are actually guides for you to thread your bobbin. So, hindi na ganun kahirap kung paano gawin yon because there's a guide that will help you how to do it. There's another number, number 1. That's actually the start of how you thread your main thread. May mga naka-emboss din na numbers doon, like that number 4 over there. So these actually tell you which direction and which step you need to follow to thread your main thread. Now you can see number 2, it says go downwards. And then number 3, which says go back up. And it will go back to number 4 and then 5 up to this needle point here. There's a light that came up, so if you on and on the switch, that will light up, and medyo malaking tulong din to illuminate your work. Here, I press this lever down to adjust the presser foot to lift it up and down. And I'll just quickly put the needle up so I can show you this lever better. This is actually, I think, maybe the thread guide. This is a very helpful tool to put your thread into that very tiny hole sa needle. Before, I didn't have this kind of tool sa mga previous sewing machine, and this is very helpful talaga because it makes it easier for you to put that thread in. Here, this is the bobbin case or bobbin area. That's where you put your bobbin. It's horizontally placed in that area, and here there are seam allowance guides which are in inches. There's 3/8, 1/2, 5/8, 3/4, up to 1 inch and more. There's a millimeter version also on the lower part, and this image here shows you how to place your bobbin correctly. The plastic bobbin, I think there are 3 that come with this model of brother sewing machine. This is the built-in free arm which you can detach and attach. So if you're sewing those cuffs and armholes, mas madali lang siyang i-manage by putting it in that small arm there. I'll just show you some snaps of the sewing machine, the front and the back. So this is how it looks like in the front. Yung mga gemstones dyan, it doesn't come with the actual machine. I just added them myself from my crafting materials. Here, you'll see the back part. There is the model number again, and the wattage and the voltage. So 230 volts and 51 watts. It doesn't consume much electricity or energy. So we'll look at the accessories that came with this machine. So all of these tools are really very helpful to make your sewing a lot easier. Let's start with the needles. So there are 3 spare needles that came with it in this twin needle. I haven't used this twin needle yet, but I read about it and it says it helps you create double top stitch lines for your seams. Next, we have the buttonhole foot. I have used this maybe twice or thrice to make buttonholes for my son's shirts. Ginugol ko kung paano siya gamitin. At first, mahirap pero madali naman as you practice. There's this lever above which you can adjust depending on the size of your button. May mga steps naman sa YouTube to help you use this. Next, we have the zipper foot. I've used this also recently and it makes it a lot easier to sew near the zip lines. Very helpful tool din ito. The button sewing foot is next. It has this letter M. I think that's the code for this foot. It's a great tool to help you sew your buttons in place. Next, we have the oval screwdriver. So you use this to adjust the screw when you need to detach and attach your needle. The next accessory is the zigzag foot. Its code is J. I think in other sewing machines the code is different, but this comes with the sewing machine. It's attached already to the sewing machine and it's the default one. Next, we have the extra spool pin. It's the darner plate. I haven't used this one also. I think you attach this plate so when you sew, your fabric won't go underneath, especially if it's soft. I'll just show you the bobbins that came with the sewing machine also. I suggest you buy a few more or several more because it helps you continue with your sewing work a lot easier instead of recycling each bobbin. If you're going to use several different colors of thread, mahirap yung tatlo lang yung bobbin mo. So you have to have spares para you can easily thread them if you want to change your thread color instead of papatungin mo dun sa existing bobbin mo. I have a separate video on how to thread a bobbin and it's very easy actually, but if you want to have a visual then you can refer to that video. This is the foot controller. It's like the pedal in the old sewing machines, but this one is just easier to put your foot on and control the speed of the sewing machine. So that's everything, all the accessories that came with this Brother LX27NT sewing machine model. These are very helpful tools. I think there are more accessories, but you have to buy them separately. So that sums up this video showing you the overview of this sewing machine. I don't have any comparison with other sewing machines because this is the first one I've used and this is the only one that I have, but I can say that it really did its job for me with my projects. I've made some dresses, masks, my son's clothes, and it works perfectly for me. If you're a beginner like me, I can recommend this sewing machine to you if you don't know what to buy. This is the cheapest I found when I went to this craft store called Spotlight here in Singapore. I think it's a good buy for me. Hopefully this video would be able to help those who are curious or don't have any idea of what kind of sewing machine to start with. I'm looking forward to make more videos like this, so if you like this one and you think it helped you, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, just write down on the comments below and I'll try my best to share what I know. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video.